Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Life with Mrs. B. If you're new here, welcome for the very first time. My name is Paula. This is my YouTube channel, Life with Mrs. B. I make videos relating to family life, sit down videos, food videos, grocery shopping hauls, family vlogs, all that kind of good stuff. So if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, hit the subscribe button. If not, then thanks anyway for coming by. I don't know. It's free to subscribe anyway. Doesn't cost anything. You just have to have a free YouTube account. You can subscribe and see my pretty face every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Or maybe you're like, oof, no, I'm gonna run away right now. So today's video, we are going to be busting some Mormon myths. If you're like, what? What? Mormon myths. If you're new, or I don't know, maybe you just don't know me. I am a Mormon. I did a video a couple of weeks ago. I put a card either here or here if you're watching on the computer. If not, and you're like on your phone or whatever, you can just go and check out my channel and see my other video. I did a whole video about how I joined the Mormon church, why I joined it, literally how I joined it, my baptism story, all that cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, go and check out that video after this one, obviously. And let me start off by saying that we get called Mormons, and you'll be like, why the air quotes, why the bunny ears, what's going on here, Paula? Mormon. Well, I wouldn't actually call myself a Mormon, and I know you'll be like, Paula, you literally use Mormon in the title. You should welcome to my Mormon myth busting video. What are you talking about? Don't call yourself a Mormon. Mormon's actually a nickname that was given to us being the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints way back when, and we got that nickname because not only do we read the Holy Testament, honestly, the Holy Bible, so the Old Testament and the New Testament, we also believe in another testament, which is the Book of Mormon. So you can see how we kind of got the nickname Mormon. We do not worship Mormon. This is not the Church of Mormon. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we don't really use that term. I wouldn't be offended if you called me a Mormon. I would just say, yeah, actually I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's all I would say. So I wouldn't be offended. As I said, I wouldn't be like, we can no longer be friends. I wouldn't say that. I would just say, actually. So that's the first little bit out of the way. And you might be like, well, why did you use the word Mormon then in your video and your title, and why if it's not something you use? Just because that's what a lot of people know and recognise, and busting Mormon myths sounds better than busting myths from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Like, that wouldn't even all fit in a title, like, do you know what I mean? So people recognise the name Mormon, so that's why I've used it. But I did just want to preface it by saying that we don't really call ourselves Mormon. So now that I've got my disclaimer out of the way, I'm going to share with you some myths, some misconceptions, preconceptions. These are ones that I googled. I literally typed into Google, do Mormons, and then you know it comes up. It's like pre-populated when you search for stuff, and some of them were quite funny and quite strange. Like, what? I'm not going to be able to do them all today, so if you guys like the video, I will try and do another one. If you guys have any myths about my church yourself, I've got a bit of hair in my face and it's annoying. Here we are. If you've got any misconceptions, put them in the comments section if comments are on, and I can save them and do another video in the future. Let me just say, some of these myths are actually true. Some of these myths, misconceptions, are not true. So I've got a mixture of both for you. So the first one is that people who are members of my church being the 17 million members we have worldwide, people who are members of my church are not Christian. Not Christian? What do you think? Do you have an opinion? I don't know, it's maybe a bit weird, but I personally identify as a Christian, and my church identifies as Christian. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus Christ was his son. I believe that God created the world, the heavens, the earth. I believe that Jesus came here and saved us, paid for our sins with his blood, and he atoned for our sins. I pray multiple times a day. I read the Bible. I try and live a Christ-like life as best as I can, serving others, being patient, being a good person, not murdering people, you know, like I try and do these things, and it just blows my mind. How is that not a Christian? I'm going to say that is a Christian. As I said, I identify as a Christian. If that's not a Christian, then I don't really know what is a Christian then. So I'm going to say that one is not true. You can let me know in the comments below what you think. The second one is also not true, and that's that we are polygamists. Polygamists? If you don't know what a polygamist is someone who has more than one wife. I don't know if it works the other way. If you're... do you think it would still be the same thing if you had more than one husband? I could probably do more than one husband because I've got a lot of DIY that needs done in this house. But polygamists generally were people that have more than one wife, and we are not polygamists. Back in the olden days, when the church first started a couple of 100 years ago, people did have more than one wife. Like, it wouldn't be for me. No, like, no. No. I can kind of see how people think this about us, but no, oh my gosh, I can hear my kids. They're playing on abcya.com, not an ad, and apparently it can get kind of heated because one of them's excited. But we don't have more than one wife nowadays. No, we haven't practiced polygamy in the church for a long, long, long time, and yeah, no. I don't really have much else to say apart from no. Okay, myth number 3 is that we don't drink tea or coffee, and that is actually true. So if you know me, like, personally, or you've ever, I don't know, I don't think I've really ever did a video about tea, but like no spilling the tea, but I don't drink tea or coffee. I don't drink tea or coffee now because I'm a member of the church, but back in the day I never drank tea or coffee either. It's never, no. It tastes disgusting, if I'm honest. No, I don't like it. But we have something that we adhere to called the word of wisdom, and it was revelation that was given to a prophet that, you know, hey, don't do this stuff, don't drink this stuff, don't use this stuff, it's not good for you. And the word of wisdom says no to tea and coffee, and by tea I mean green tea, white tea, black tea, so anything with like actual tea leaves in it, not like a fruit tea. So I would have like a mint tea, like, because there's not actually any tea in that, or a fruity tea. As long as there's no actual tea leaves in it, you're fine. So we stay away from that. We stay away from alcohol, cigarettes, or tobacco, or cigars, I don't know. I don't smoke. Stay away from that. We stay away from drugs and any other addictive substances. It's not for us. It's healthier to be without these things, and it's not really an issue. Some people confuse tea and coffee with caffeine and think that we don't drink caffeine. No, we drink caffeine. I know a lot of people in the church that drink juice, fizzy juice, Coke, Diet Coke, Red Bulls. I mean, personally it's not for me. Thomas, like, that's my husband, he did used to drink those kind of things. He doesn't really drink them now. Stuff like Red Bull is so addictive. It's not even the caffeine that makes it so addictive, it's the sugar. The next myth that makes me laugh is that Mormons do not watch television. I love TV. Like, I try not to use it excessively. Again, kind of going back to addiction, like, it's not a great thing to be addicted to, but I do like TV. We actually have our own kind of TV channel, network type thing called BYU TV. It's really, really good. You guys should check it out. It's free to watch it. I have it on, you know, like your Amazon Fire Stick thing. I have the app downloaded on there, and you can watch all the stuff on catch up. They have comedy, they have, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I only watch the comedy. And that's all I watch. I watch Studio C. They're really good. You can also find them on YouTube. But they do have like lifestyle type videos and property type programs and all that kind of stuff. But as I said, I only watch it for the comedy. But yeah, TV is absolutely fine. That's not us. That's a different religion that doesn't use TV. So we like TV. Another myth that's kind of along the same lines is that Mormons don't celebrate birthdays. That would be so sad. Mormons, members of my church, absolutely do 100% celebrate birthdays. I don't know where this idea comes from. I think people get us confused with Jehovah's Witnesses. You hear that wind? It's very windy today. I'm kind of like in shock. It's almost July. and it's very wet, windy, stormy weather. Sad face. But anyway, so just ignore the wind. But no, we do celebrate birthdays, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Easter. I know that Jehovah's Witnesses don't really do birthdays, so I don't know if people get us mixed up, because Jehovah's Witnesses knock on doors and Mormon missionaries knock on doors. I don't know if people kind of get them mixed up, but we're not the same church, don't believe the same things, and we celebrate birthdays. We don't believe birthdays are evil or witchy or pagan or anything like that. Next myth I have, which is kind of weird, is that people believe we baptize dead bodies. It's like, what? No! If you know what baptism is, you might know what baptism is. We believe in baptism by full immersion, so that's not like a wee sprinkling on your head. It's where your whole body gets dunked in the water. We believe that only certain people are allowed to baptize, and that these people have to have the authority from God to baptize you. So, like, you know, just no random person can baptize you. And it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Like, we baptize dead bodies. No, we do not baptize dead bodies. That is not true. We do have something that is called baptisms. Some people say baptisms for the dead. When you say baptisms for the dead, that sounds kind of creepy, and you do envision like going into a graveyard and what if someone got cremated? How could you baptize them? Because they'd be kind of wet. Like, well, obviously they'd be kind of wet, but you know, like, no. So we do have something that's called baptisms for the dead, or baptisms for your ancestors, and that is where you can get baptized, or someone else can get baptized by proxy for one of your family members or your ancestors. The way this works is not that, how can I'm trying to think how to explain it without making it sound really weird. We believe that you can get baptized for your family member. So for instance, I could get baptized for my great gran that died, and what that does is that does not make her a member of her church. It merely extends the hand and offering, saying, look, Paula got baptized for you to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Do you want to accept that? And then up wherever she is, you know, heaven, the waiting room, whatever it is, she can accept and say, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much, Paula. Or she can say, actually, no, I'm cool, I don't want that baptism. If she was to say no, she wouldn't have it forced upon her. It's not, it doesn't make them a member of the church. As I said, it literally just extends the offering, the choice, you know, that someone has did it for her. And that one is kind of weird. Like, when you think about it, they baptize dead, the dead. So yeah, no, you just do it by proxy. So you can do it if you're a lady, you could do it for other females. If you're a guy, you can do it for other guys. So for instance, I could do it for Thomas's family who are females, and Thomas can do it for members of my family who are males. You can also do it for other people who may not be able to go and do it. So that kind of leads me into my other myth, and that is the myth that the church is a closed church, that people are not welcome if you're new. That's really, really not true. Not true at all. If you see your churches or wards or meeting houses, so a little bit of LDS jargon for you. So a ward is a boundary, an area, a geographical location of people. Usually it's like a town or part of a town. In my case, where I live, it's my town, and then there's some bits from kind of surrounding towns. And we all meet, we are all classed as one ward, and we meet in a meeting house on a Sunday. Some meeting houses have more than one ward. If it's the church is quite popular where they live, instead of having another physical building, they just meet separately. So for instance, if you lived in Glasgow, this isn't the case, but if you know you were in Glasgow and there was loads of members of the church, instead of having two buildings, which obviously requires twice the money, twice the electricity, twice the upkeep, twice the maintenance, all that kind of thing, they just have one church building. But people in Glasgow North would maybe meet at 9 o'clock, and people who live in Glasgow South would meet at like 11 o'clock. So that would be then two wards in one meeting house. Does that make sense? So outside our buildings, our meeting house buildings, there is a sign saying all visitors welcome. all visitors are welcome. You can come in, you don't have to know anybody, you don't have to have a special invitation, you don't have to have met with the missionaries, you don't have to have any of that. You can just find out what time we meet at. I'll put a link down below if you want to find out what time the nearest church to you meets at. You can just rock up and that's it. No special password required to get in. You just come on in and you just take a seat and that's it. I think what people get confused with is we have those meeting houses and then we also have something called a temple. They are all over the world. They are beautiful, beautiful buildings. You might have one near you. There's not actually one in Scotland. I think that's because there's not a lot of church members in Scotland. So if you're Scottish and you're watching this, invite your friends so we can get a blooming temple. But the nearest one to us is in Preston. It's not actually that far, it's only a couple of hours in the car, and I've been a couple of times, I've vlogged it a couple of times when we've been outside it. You can find on YouTube like tours of the temple, and honestly they're such beautiful, beautiful buildings, they really are. And there at the temple we do the baptisms for the dead, or baptisms by proxy, or baptisms for your ancestors, whatever you want to call it. We do that, and we also make more promises with God. So in the way when you get baptized, you make covenants with God, which is like a promise. We make more covenants and more promises with God when we're in the temple, and we can do things for work for our ancestors as well, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So to get to the temple, you must be a member of the church, and you must also hold a temple recommend card. It's like this, it's like a little bank card size card, and you can keep it in your purse or your wallet. You must have a temple recommend, and to get a temple recommend you just need to be a good person who's a member of the church. That's really about it. And I think that's where people get confused, saying, oh, you can't go to that church because they don't let you in. No, that's not true. Please come and join us on a Sunday when Corona is over. Everyone is welcome. So that's not true at all. But I think that's me finished with this video. Tried to film this so many times and here I am, eventually finished it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, if you've got any myths or preconceptions, put them in the comments below if comments are on, and I can make another video if you guys would like me to. And I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye!